Hello, awesome people of the Sneeze, Stitch, and Shopify 100K challenge. This is the update for the 26th of April, and today we're going into a topic which I haven't really had to cover or consider myself for a while, but I have been going through it with a couple of individual coaching clients, and it's probably one of the biggest pain points or biggest decision risks that any new e-commerce store owner is going to go into, and that is the niche selection strategy. So I'm going to outline the strategy that we took, though we didn't do it consciously at the time, to select this male leggings niche. And I'm just going to walk through exactly how we made that decision, so you can use that thought process if you're currently in that position, if you're currently looking to find that new product that you want to build the brand around, to build that long-term sustainable e-commerce business. Now, before we get into that, a quick update from my side. You can see on the screen in front of us that sales in April have not actually been that good. So I don't know if you remember from March, we did about $6.5K dollars. Here we are about 5K. There's only 4 days of the month left. So we're probably going to hit about the same as what we did in March. We didn't see any massive growth, but what we have seen is massive learnings. So myself and my Facebook guy, Lee, have spent quite a lot of money on Facebook testing different cold traffic campaigns. Some have worked well, some haven't. And so we're iterating on that, improving that, and obviously going to be sharing everything that we cover there in finding cold traffic and then converting cold traffic from Facebook probably in a couple of videos, probably one video, one update next month, and then also one update the month after. So don't worry, all of that is going to be covered, all of our learnings and our mistakes that we've made, so you don't have to make them, are going to be covered here. We have the domain meggings.com. I'm in talks with a couple of SEO experts to decide what to actually do with that. So a couple of options. Number one is currently we can see here, so it's, if you go to meggings.com, you'll see it redirects directly to our homepage. Probably not the best thing to do, but there are a couple of options. Number one is to completely replace Stitch Leggings with meggings.com, though that will probably lose a bit of our branding, like the strong brand that we have. Or we can build a content site on meggings.com, link heavily to stitchleggings.com, and hopefully push ourselves up for those keywords that bring the buyers. So when we do make that decision, I'll cover that journey here in these videos as well, of course. Apart from that, they are the main updates. The launch for the pair of leggings this month didn't actually go that well either. It wasn't amazing. I think it was around here, so only on those days where we launched the product, but it didn't actually do that well. So I'll cover what didn't work there as well in a video, maybe next week. Let's get back into it and let's look at the topic of today's video, and that is niche selection. So let's jump in. So as I mentioned, today we are talking about Stitch's niche selection strategy. And it's very, very simple. I really like this concept of at the intersection of whenever you're trying to make a decision about, especially in business or even in life, about what to follow and what to do, what to invest your time in. It's usually, the best option is not usually a result of one factor. And so it's actually best to consider multiple different factors and then try and find the thing to work on that sits in the middle of those factors. And so that's what we did retrospectively with Stitch, and this actually worked out. So we're going to go through the three, I believe, biggest, most important factors when deciding to choose a niche for an e-commerce business. And those factors are, number one, what are you passionate about? Now, the next month or year of you building this business is going to be really, really fucking hard. And so if you have a product or a mission and a cause that you care about, it's going to make that really hard journey a little bit easier. If you're selling something that you don't give a shit about and you don't like your customers, then it's going to make that journey even harder than it needs to be. So what we're about here, or what we're trying to do, is make that journey a little bit easier for yourself, so you're more likely to actually go and do it. And if you're passionate about the product that you're selling, it's going to be much easier for you to do this. So I know most e-commerce gurus now would be like, go to Alibaba and just find something that's like top selling, even if you don't care, even if it's just like a piece of shit, then like fair enough, go and do that. But A, you might not like the actual product, you might not like subconsciously, you might not want to sell it, and you might not like the people you're helping, the people you're selling to. And it's going to be harder to build a brand around because you really don't care about it. So my approach and what we did is we're always passionate about skinny jeans. We like wearing skinny jeans. We were quite interested in fashion. And so male leggings, we were actually very passionate and still are passionate about. And that's probably one of the reasons why we have been successful. So A, the first factor to consider is what are you passionate about? B, what is trending? Now this is, I was thinking about this yesterday, like I think that every successful person is an investor. So whether you're investing money or you're investing time, it's very important to try and make a prediction about what in the future is going to grow and what is not going to grow. So just like if you go to a horse race and you bet on a horse, you're saying in the future, I think this thing is going to do well, and therefore I'm willing to make a bet. And exactly the same in life, when you're choosing what to work on, you're saying, I'm going to invest money and time and effort into this thing, and in the future, is it going to be better than it is today? So what I'd highly recommend is that anybody, if you're looking to enter into a niche, go to Google Trends and type in a few keywords within that niche and see what people are searching about, and see if that line is going up and to the right. I mean, we can quickly jump in. Let's go to Google Trends now and do an example. So let's say this might not be a relevant niche, but I did this for Shopify recently. Maybe I should invest in Shopify, but it might be a bit late now. But I think Shopify is doing really well, right? As you can see from Google Trends. If I had spare cash, I would invest in Shopify. Look how well they're doing. I mean, it's not an absolute test, but it is definitely worth doing. So if we go to what else would be trending at the moment, I think I am an investor in this. That's terrible spelling. Remove. So I actually think a good idea would be an e-commerce store for Bitcoin merchandise. It probably exists, but I think that would also be potentially so trending up slightly. Let's take another niche. Let's say you wanted to go into yoga leggings. I think this is pretty saturated at the moment, but seems like this would be going up over time. Yeah, I think yoga in general, like I think one interesting trend is like high consciousness, spirituality. Let's see what spirituality is sort of trending upwards. Let's have a look. Not really. And so this is what I'm talking about is, is this a global trend? Are people moving towards this type of thing? Like, has some technology been discovered that now enables you to this product to be created, and therefore the market is undersaturated because it's a new product and not enough people have heard about it, and you can ride the trend of this product getting more popular. So we kind of did this with the leggings, in that we started to see news articles about male leggings, but no one was actually selling them at the time. We were the first male leggings e-commerce store. So at the time when we went to that party and saw some guy wearing leggings and then did the market stall and didn't sell any, we did some research and we found that there were some sort of high fashion brands getting men to wear leggings, and we thought, okay, this could be a trend, and it turned out that it actually was a trend, and we believe it is still growing. So that's the second thing. The first thing is what are you passionate about? The second thing is what is currently trending or will be trending in the future, because remember, everybody is an investor. And finally, what do you know about? Because, so if we think about passion as you connecting with the mission and the brand emotionally, it makes you feel good. Knowing about is what intellectually have you invested in learning about, because it's going to be very, very helpful if you have a good understanding of the product, the market, and the people that you're selling to. It's going to be helpful when you're writing the copy to connect with the avatar. It's going to be helpful when you're first drop shipping the product, but B, if you actually go and get supply, it's going to be very helpful for you to help to design that product effectively. And perhaps most importantly is the story that you tell about the brand. And in your content marketing, you're going to be able to add value in that information because you know about it already. I mean, if you don't know about anything, that's okay. You can probably spend time learning about it, but it's going to be very useful if you have that knowledge already. It's going to get you off to an awesome start. So this is what I say to all my consultant clients is, if they're concerned or looking for a niche, is to understand these three circles: what they're passionate about, what you know about, and what is trending, and then find that sweet spot in the middle. So here, ideally find the niche that sits in between all of these areas. And so the question now is, how do you find niche ideas? I think it's just really spending time like browsing the internet, going online. There are some great resources that just list out all the possible industries in the world. And so, or even resources that list out trending industries. So you search for trending industries 2017, trending e-commerce products 2017, and then just go through and just spend loads of time, like don't rush it, spend loads of time listing out different ideas and then ranking them on what you're passionate about, on how passionate you are, how much you know about them, and whether you think they will be trending in the future, and then selecting the biggest one. And then of course, testing that. I think the optimum model is, when starting an e-commerce business now, is to find the thing you're passionate about using this methodology, find someone who will drop ship it for you, test, like set up a really quick store, don't worry too much about the branding, test with Facebook ads, see if the product selling, see what the target group is, like who you can target, whether they're buying, how much you can buy customers for, see what their response to the product is, see how passionate they are about it, and then make a decision then to go and find your supplier and either have the supplier dropship, like sort of brand the product effectively, because that's where the real value is over the long term, and then either get it shipped to you or a distribution center, and then start building the brand and building the community. And that's ultimately how you're going to build an awesome e-commerce store that ultimately you're going to be able to sell. And as we know, I've probably talked about this before, people only get rich by selling cash-producing assets, right? It's going to be very hard for you to sell a shitty dropshipping general store that has no brand and has no lasting value, because the potential acquirer is going to be like, what happens when you're gone, you're the person running these Facebook ads, all your customers are not buying again, someone else could just set up this store and start drop shipping the same shit products. So, or you could, the other route, is the route I advocate, is building that brand, building that store, outsourcing and systemizing stuff, having a loyal group of followers. So the new acquirer is going to be like, okay, you, the owner, is not actually doing much in this business, everything's outsourced and systemized, I can take all of those processes and it will run without me. Also, you have a passionate group of customers that are going to keep buying, and we can continue to grow this brand that's going to have a massive impact on how much you're going to be able to sell the business for. So that's what we're doing with Stitch. That's exactly what we've done with Stitch. We're going to keep growing, and then ultimately we're going to sell it, and then we're going to do something else, right? But the amount we're going to be sell it for is going to be pretty astronomical, because it's this loyal group of rabid buyers, and everything's systemized and processed. And everything is systemized, and we have processes. So that's my rant about dropshipping and about brands. Today we have covered the process that I would recommend anybody going through when looking to select a niche, and then also we spoke a bit more about what happens after that. Maybe I'll do another whole separate video on that, on selling, on building systems, and selling an e-commerce brand. So I hope that is really valuable to everybody. I hope that if you are looking for a niche, you follow this process. I think it's going to be invaluable. If you have any questions, drop them either in the blog post below or in the YouTube comments below. As you've probably seen on other videos and blog posts, I answer all of them, and I really enjoy interacting with loads of different people in the e-commerce space. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.